Oh hey, welcome. Today we have a brand new challenge. I'm gonna try and fix the brake pulsation issue that on my brother's 2004 IS200. And if you have the same problem, please tag along. And let me introduce you to the star of the show. Please welcome my brother's 2004 IS200. So a little bit of background story for you. So this car was stolen previously for a couple of years. So it was parked side of the road and abandoned until the police found it. So I personally went and recovered the car and brought it home. So because the car was sitting for a long time, or the brake rotors gone bad, rusted out. This is pretty normal when you park your car for a long time. So when I first drove the car, there was no brake at all because of the rust. So as soon as the pads started to clean up the brake disc, the brakes came back. But they were really bad. If you brake hard, you can feel the brake pulsation that coming from the brake pedal. This happened because when the rust goes away, the surface of the rotors can be uneven, or the brake pads could be warped. That's why you're getting the pulsation. The only fix to this issue, either to resurface the brakes or replace the rotors altogether. So we bought all the parts, brand new rotors for all four corners, brand new brake pads, and let's go to my underground car park / workshop / garage and start sorting them out. First things first, let's jack this thing up and get the front wheel off to take apart the brakes. And always use your apprentice to do all the hard work here. Let's get the dagger machine ready, 21mm socket, and the wheel will come out nice and easy. See, these are not just man toys. It makes your life easier. Don't let anyone say otherwise.
What the This is insane. Brake dust.
There you go, this is the front brake assembly of the IS200. In order to get the caliper out, you have to take these two bolts that holds the caliper sliding pins. In order to get better access to these bolts, you can simply lock the steering to one side all the way. Little bit of WD-40 paired with some Milwaukee power, and the bolts comes out smoothly. And there you go, make sure not to lose your hardware. And next, the caliper simply slides out and you have to push these pistons back in when you're installing the brake pads again. Next, we have to zip tie this caliper to somewhere. I simply use this upright because if you let it hang it by itself, you will definitely destroy the brake lines. And next, we have to take out this anti-squeal springs or separators. Simply comes out like that. And most importantly, don't lose them. Then you can get the old brake pads out. These look fairly in good shape, plenty of meat left. But we are replacing this because we are getting new rotors all four corners. Next, taking the caliper bracket out, held by these two bolts.
Next up. Make it right.
Come on, brother, use Milwaukee power. There you go. There's an old saying says, don't work hard, just use your rattle gun. Okay, the caliper bracket comes out like that, and then you can get the rotor out simply like that. You can see this has a huge lip formed. You can clearly feel it on your fingernail. Okay, time to open brand new parts, boys and girls. These are high performance slotted rotors from DBA. These will definitely look awesome in the car. Can't wait to see it. Let's give all the parts a good cleanup before we put everything back together, because all of these parts are probably caked up with years worth of brake dust and dirt and grime. So you can see this new rotors has dual fan design. That means better cooling when you're sending it. Alright, let's try them on. Couple of lug nuts on and spin the Jesus out of this. Wait, is that a wobble I see?
No. Wait.
Yeah, you can clearly see it's wobbling. Let's take it out and see what's going on. Hopefully it's not the wheel bearing. I don't want to take that out. Looks like the wheel bearings is fine. Let's put this back together, tighten it properly. There you go. There's no more wobble, ladies and gentlemen. It's perfectly fine. Next up, the brand new brake pads from Brandix. These are low dust and heavy duty. And high temperature brake grease. These are the rear pads, same from Brandix. Let's cut them open and slap them in. Of course, before that we have to put the caliper bracket on. Did you think I forgot it?
Yeah.
As soon as I figure out which way it goes back in. Little bit of medium thread lock on the bolts for extra safety, because it would be a bad day if these came out when you're driving around.
Headlock done. You look really done now. What a meme I done.
Okay, that's enough spinning the rotor. Let's torque these bolts down to the spec. Caliper bracket bolts 118 Newton meters. Let's get our torque wrench, set it to 118, set, and torque these babies down. Next up, brake pads. Let's get our brake pads, and don't forget to install these anti-squeal shims. Apply a little bit of grease on the shims and these little notches so the pads can slide freely on the bracket, a little bit on the bracket, and you can slide the new brake pads on nice and easy. Next, let's install the anti-squeal springs. This prevents the brake pad touching the rotor and makes squeaky noises. So finally, let's get the caliper and push these pistons back in. I simply use 2 C-clamps and a brake pad for this. There are specific tools made for this, you can buy them if you like. And now you can slide the caliper back in smoothly. Now let's get the caliper bolts cleaned up with some degreaser, a little bit of thread locker on these bolts as well. And snug them up before we torque it down to the spec. And torque specs for these bolts, 34 Newton meters. Finally we can get the wheel back on, and that completes one side, and we can copy and paste everything what we did for the next side. And by the way, this Rotors looks pretty sick, isn't it? And finally we can torque our lug nuts down when the car is on the ground. And let's go to complete the other side. This is exactly the same, just have to repeat everything that we did in the other side. And please excuse my leg. Thank you. And this is the sad time I talk about my GoPro parted ways with me. It just started throwing these weird pink lines and overheated and destroyed a bunch of my footage and never turned on after that. And that is front left side done and dusted. Next up, we had to move to the rear wheels. You can jack the car up from the rear diff, that way you can put jack stand on both sides in one go, like that, and get the wheels off, just like that. And this is the rear caliper held by 2 bolts, like this. You can get it out and caliper comes out. And if you run into this problem like me, stuck rotors, simply insert 2 bolts to these holes and start tightening them up. The rotor will break free and come out eventually. There you go, one rear rotor out. Man, this thing gave me a fight. And let's clean the surface that rotor meets the wheel hub with some degreaser and a wire brush to get all the rust out, and apply some high temperature grease so it won't seize again in the future. Another important step too is to clean the rotors with some brake cleaner, because from the factory they are coated with some kind of oil to prevent it from rusting. And if you forget to clean it out, you won't get the full performance of your brakes for a while. It's gonna simply slip. Finally, let's get the rear rotor in, hold in place with some lug nuts, and start cleaning our caliper with some more brake cleaner. Unfortunately, all the footage after this as well went to the grave with my GoPro, so you're gonna have to take my word for it. After this, all we did that push the pistons back in, torque the caliper to 104 Newton meters, and apply some grease to the pad guide pins. Put all the pads with its shims in this order with the anti-squeal spring, and rinse and repeat everything on the other side to finish the job. So you can see everything done and dusted, looking beautiful. And let's send the owner for the test drive. As a test drive curve, not hyperdrive. Okay, that run confirms that brakes are working properly. And let's get this boy home nice and safe. Well, you can say that's a success, right? Yeah, the only thing went wrong is my GoPro going haywire. Now it's spending its last days in the ocean with fishies. So we went for our test drive and the brake works wonderfully. The pulsation is gone, no vibrations, and the brake has phenomenal response because these slotted rotors in the front, and most importantly, they look badass too. And so that's my first happy customer. And there are a couple of more issues with this car which we're gonna address in future videos, such as leaking valve cover gasket and well overdue timing belt job, and stay tuned for those. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about the IS200 series, and if you haven't seen the episodes that I changed the water pump on this thing, my IS250, go and check that out. And until next time, keep on wrenching.